I'm over here now.
From everywhere USA, it's Fox Across America with Jimmy Failla.
Oh, hot damn, fired up in this hour to bring you an embarrassment of radio riches. Joining me in studio, tippy top of the hour. This matters. We know Steve Hilton is coming up. He might be the next governor of California. But this guest, the mayor of pretty much every bar in Southern California. I
like to think so.
She, Mrs. Mayor, well, Her Honor. What would it be? Your Honor? How do I address you?
Her honor.
Her Honor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's not his honor.
I can't use any of the other terms.
Don't misgender my honor, Jim. God.
I mean, you know her and love her as Sugar, but I know her as the K Train. Kennedy is here, and the crowd goes wild. Hey, and would you? I mean,
when did you get a studio audience?
Fired up. Some of them get here early for the TV show on Saturday. They camped out in the studio. They're like, I want to get the good seats. Kennedy and I, if you're listening on WTRW, which I know a lot of you are. Okay, talk about timing. We only launched on that station in Scranton. They call me Scranton Jim.
I love that station.
I know, and we only launched there Monday, which is just in time for all of them to get tickets. You're right there.
Yep, exactly right.
Kennedy and I, April 19th at the Mohican Casino. We're calling it the Slots and Sluts Tour. They aren't, to be clear. For some reason, the actual upstanding pillar of the community that you know as the Mohican Casino calls it an evening of laughs and liberty.
Which is nice. I mean, that's very classy.
Mm-hmm. But laughs...
That name is befitting classier people.
Yeah. I mean, if they clearly haven't seen the show. If that's the point, like, they shouldn't concern themselves with the title. They should concern themselves with the content. And they clearly didn't. And it's too late now, as they say in Bronx Tale. Now you just can't leave.
Yeah.
But WTRW, Scranton, PA, thanks for having us on the air. 3 full days now, which is a lot longer than any of us thought it would last. But we're here.
No, that is a great all-time station. And, you know, you add it to... menagerie of phenomenal stations and some of the most loyal fans in radio, Jim.
Yes.
I have been honored to go across the country with you and meet people in your different markets, and they listen every day. They listen so intently. They love your family. And
Too much. Like the Jenny's feed pick thing has gotten crazy. Like, I could have saw her selling like 50, 100 picks.
I was surprised when she offered to make a donation to fartsinajar.com. I didn't realize that is what would be funding my retirement until I saw her eating that triple black bean 5-alarm chili.
Guys,
with chopped clams.
I don't think any of you understand the significance of fartsinajar.com or how this ends for everybody involved, including you, the listener. But it's going to come up April 19th. And it's going to be, pound for pound, probably the most highbrow moment of the show. It's when we talk about our fictitious business selling female farts in a jar. And let's be very clear. If you think
they can be genetically tested.
Thank you. No, we have. It's like when you buy memorabilia, they have the certificate of authenticity. All of our farts in a jar.
We have a certificate of farthenticity.
We can.
Oh, Governor Hot Wheels. Okay.
Oh, they're showing Jasmine Crockett on the TV again. So Jasmine Crockett, if you guys are by now probably familiar in the social media world, but if you're not paying attention to that, you're just a regular radio listener and where you get your news. Jasmine Crockett is a Texas congresswoman, just in Dallas, actually. Her district encompasses some of Dallas in that area. And I guess the best way I could say it is she's an idiot. She is rebranding herself. You know, she went to a $30,000 a semester private school, but now she wants to be a dumb rapper. She's Cardi C, you know.
Cardi C minus.
Yeah, Cardi C minus for all intents and purposes. And she's now on stage like shucking and jiving and calling Greg Abbott names like Governor Hot Wheels.
Oh, that was mean.
It was mean. Does Abbott care? No.
No,
if he's smart.
he knows how sexy he is.
Yeah, he's got it going on. And here's another thing. He's probably going to start wearing Hot Wheels sweatshirts and making campaign money off of it.
If you're smart, you lean into it.
Yeah, right away. You own this thing.
Yeah.
He was on Hannity last night. He didn't look hurt about it.
No.
But again, there are certain people that are incapable of hurting you because you put them in an intellectual box. Like when you get on the subway, there's a guy with no pants telling you his spaceship's out of gas. Nothing he says is going to hurt you.
And I say, Dad,
but
we've had this conversation.
But it's an electric spaceship, Dad.
It's fully fueled by the sun.
Thank you. But the point is, when that guy rants at you, he can't hurt your feelings.
No.
You know what I'm saying? And sadly, she has intellectually disqualified herself on a level that she wouldn't be able to hurt my feelings, you know? And I think that's where we are now, is we're watching Jasmine Crockett make a calculated pivot to be like, I'm going to be the street fighting face of this party.
Well, do you know what happened? Like AOC wants to be taken seriously.
Yes.
She wants to be a senator and then she wants to be president.
Yes.
So in order to do that, like she has to make the most massive triangulation of anyone in the Democrat Party since Bill Clinton.
Yep.
And the only way to do that is right now she has to position herself as a cogent person and, you know, not the keffiyeh wearing stinky progressive that she's been lumped into, the squad that she created.
Yes.
So she's trying to break free from that. So Jasmine Crockett, because there is no leadership in the Democrat Party, you know, she's making a move to the attention whore lane.
Yeah.
Like she's cutting across like 5 lanes of traffic.
No, but she is dropping the curses, you know, kind of calling for violence, then walking it back, which she tried
You know
last
what
night.
I want for my birthday? I want Elon Musk taken down. And then she's like,
That wasn't violent. There in no way was I encouraging anyone to engage in acts of violence against any notable person that I may happen to have political disagreements with.
Went on.
but what I would like for you to do, all right? I want Ted Cruz to get hit over the head because of Texas reports.
Now, how come
I wasn't saying that I would like anyone to physically assault someone who happens to seat themselves on the opposite side of the political spectrum from me.
She was calling on Ted Cruz to get hit in the head by the ice bucket challenge. Remember, you dumped the water, and then you
What we're
raised
trying
money?
to do is raise money for cerebral palsy.
That's what she said. She goes, you know, I call him Governor Hot Wheels because he got them planes, trains, and automobiles. But that blew up because she's liked a bunch of Facebook posts that called him Hot Wheels. So, which is, it makes it even more egregious that she stole the nickname.
And yeah, she's not even original.
Yes, she's a cover band.
She's not bold enough to lean into it in her own right. And then she backtracks so stupidly. And it's like, bro, we know what you're doing. This is not the climate to incite violence.
Yep, straight up. But
And that stuff, it doesn't age well, and it plays to such a narrow group of voters.
Yep. And not pretty. We're talking to Kennedy. That's not who the not pretty was reserved for.
Wow,
but
I think it was.
It would. I mean, it would have worked just the same. But Kennedy is going to be on Fox News Saturday night this weekend. I don't doubt we might even work in a promo for April 19th.
I hope we do.
In Mohegan, Pennsylvania.
I hope we do because people deserve it.
I think we should do one segment that's just a promo. Wouldn't it be funny if Steve Hilton's coming on Saturday night? He's got a new book out. If we just did the whole segment on our show.
I know. And Steve Hilton really is trying to save the state of California.
I know. He cares. He actually cares.
And I had him on my podcast. It's going to air on Friday. I tried to get him drunk. And even then, he's the classiest person in the room.
He stays on message.
By a factor of 20.
God loves Steve Hilton. And he's going to be hanging out with us Saturday night. That matters. Rumors that he will come to the Mohegan, PA casino on April 19th. We haven't confirmed that.
No.
The only thing we know for
a lot of people on the list right now.
The only thing we know for sure is President Trump and Taylor Swift will be there confirmed.
I mean, we have. I know Emily Compagno is on the list.
She's coming
Sandra
through.
Smith is
coming
on the
by.
list.
That matters.
Martha is on the list.
Martha will be there.
Yeah.
And by the list, we mean people we've talked to in the elevator this week.
And people we put on the list, but haven't gotten confirmation from.
They haven't RSVP'd,
But
yes.
still, yeah.
But they're on the list.
They're on the list.
President Trump firmly on the list.
Very much. At
Taylor
the top.
Swift on the list, scheduled
She
to
still has
sing.
to pay for a ticket. Like, I don't care if she's from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, we don't care.
It's like, yay.
Uh-huh.
And maybe I didn't write the nicest things about her this week in the Daily Mail.
No.
Having said that,
Yep.
she's still on the list.
WEEU in Reading, man, hometown of Taylor Swift. Okay, I think they agree with the decision.
My
they
Aunt
say you put her
Kathy,
on the list, but you
she's on
charge
the
her.
list.
Aunt Kathy's going to
She
be
doesn't
there.
fly.
I
They're
know.
going to have to drive from Ohio.
That's funny that she doesn't fly because I have an Aunt Kathy that's on the no-fly list. It's a whole nother animal. Oh, man, I'm talking to Kennedy. So, yes, the Jasmine Crockett thing, a little calculating and contrived. We've been talking about the signal thing at great length, just the same. I think two things can be true. Nobody likes to talk about it. It can be a mistake to do something on signal. but it can also.
I don't think the signal part is the bad part.
Because people were using it.
I don't think it is that hackable thing.
It's the guy being on it.
He didn't hack his way in there.
Yeah.
It's that someone put him in that chat.
Amen.
And he knew about it, because if I get a message from Signal like you've been added to a chat, I'd be like, oh, hell no.
Yeah, what's
like,
that?
He knew exactly what he was getting into.
Yes.
This was not accidental.
That's what I mean. So Goldberg being there was either invited intentionally or by a staffer.
It was so intentional.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of two things. Either, this team of rivals, someone was like, dude, listen to how dumb Vance and Hegseth are, which they're not, and I really appreciated their back and forth. So it's either someone within that group, or it's just a leftist staffer who only got a job to tank the entire organization. And this isn't as much of a faceplant as Democrats are hoping.
Yeah.
Like
they're overselling
it's salacious and it's weird, but it's not one of those administration defining moments.
No, and thankfully the attack was successful. None of our people got hurt, and we killed some terrorists. And I think in a different climate, if the attack proved unsuccessful and this information was out there, then I think the Democrats had something to run with. But in this instance, they're just trying to sell anything they can. Yeah. That's where we are right now. We're in that major league moment where he goes, you put snot on the ball, and the guy goes, I don't have an arm like yours. I got to do anything I can. I think the Democrats are in the snot on the ball phase of this power dynamic.
Such a great analogy.
It's like, I don't have an arm like yours, kid. I got to do whatever the hell I can. So they're like, you're going after a Signal text chat with Jeffrey Goldberg? I don't have an arm like yours, kid.
Well, I mean, it's better than being on a Signal chat with Jeffrey Toobin.
Hey, girl, save it for the game. Folks, if you want to see an arm like ours, April 19th, Mohican, PA.
I'm already warming up.
You can get the tickets right at the casino website.
I'm already putting on the foil.
Thank you. Packing the foil.
Old-time
Old-style hockey. That's Hanson, brother. You're all going to get boarded by Kennedy if you buy tickets. Anybody can have a meet and greet, take a selfie, and shake your hand. But we're going to hip check you into the board.
But who can give you hepatitis?
Thank you. Well, two of us then if you're going to get technical. But that's a story for people who want to go to the after party. Those tickets are sold cash only. Meet us in the parking lot. Use the code word fair and balanced.
And bring a blood boy.
Love it. We're back after this.
It's Jimmy Failla.
He's been America's most favored comedian at a time when America was in her most bewildered state of mind.
It's Fox Across America.
You're listening to Fox Across America with Jimmy Failla. For these stories and a lot more, log on to newstalkflorida.com. News, information, and talk. News Talk 1040 WHBO.
There it is, Fox Across America with Jimmy Failla. Eddie Grant singing Electric Avenue. He says, don't do Electric Avenue. Why? Because it won't get you to Mohican, Pennsylvania.
No, it is not a straight shot from Electric Avenue.
It dead ends. That's the point. Now you're down by the Hudson where all the, don't get me wrong, from afar, those are some good looking hookers that hang out on the West Side Highway. But if you get up close, do you like surprises? That whole song and dance.
Yeah, you're gonna star in your own crying game, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, wow. I thought Dikembe Mutombo had left this earth. Turns out he's wearing a pair of stilettos over by the Intrepid. Wouldn't you know it? Kennedy's sticking around for a second segment because we have a lot to discuss. It's just the way life is these days. There's a White House press briefing going on right now about the big Signal Gate controversy. Jimmy Gomez, who's a Democratic rep, he's trying to take a page out of the Jasmine Crockett book and get a little street. He just asked if Pete Hegseth was drinking when he leaked the classified information. Now, I bring this up not because of, the absurd cheap shot, and you can see the contrived nature of that, but because of something I mentioned during the break. They're trying to make this about Hegseth, but he didn't organize the chat. Mike Waltz did.
Yes.
So the fact that they're using a Waltz era to specifically call for Hegseth's resignation makes me think there's a political op.
Yeah, so I also, and it wouldn't surprise me from this administration because there is so much strategery that goes into every choice, every action. And we saw that with Matt Gaetz.
Yeah.
Like, nominating Matt Gaetz for AG was a way to get Matt Gaetz out of the picture.
Amen.
It was not a way to get Matt Gaetz
He wasn't going to be Attorney General.
Yeah, he was never going to lead the Department of Justice. And this whole thing, if that's what happened, like this was an intentional flub to embarrass Pete Hegseth, that's awful.
Yeah. And
I hope that they're not that un-American.
Well, to be clear, I definitely don't think that's something like Trump would be behind. But you're saying maybe some petty within the cabinet?
I do think there are so many people within the cabinet
yeah.
who are viable candidates in 2028
yes, fair.
that at some point they're going to have to take each other out.
Boom! That matters.
I mean, but seriously, look at the caliber of people in the cabinet. Vance.
He's running.
Marco Rubio.
Running.
Marco Rubio and J.D. Vance, like they now have the bona fides to run for president. They've both been senators.
You know who else
and now
does?
one's Secretary of State and the other's vice president.
You know who else does? A certain very handsome weekend host here from the Fox News Channel who happens to be the Secretary of Defense.
Yes.
Pete, as a former defense secretary, would also have the bona fides to run if he wanted to run. I mean, that's just reality. So you're right to say that in this team of rivals scenario, nothing would surprise me because it's politics.
Yeah, and it's like if you really want to be, so we were watching an episode of Succession where they're all on the yacht, and it's when the dad decides that Kendall's going to take the fall and go to prison. And, Kendall's like, do you think I can't do the top job? And he's like, I don't know. He's like, you're not a killer. And so you have to prove that you can be a killer if you are going to run for president. And the only way to do that is to shove your biggest competition out of the way somehow.
That's the way it's going to be. And that honestly, what's funny that you say that, because I always think about Gavin Newsom. And when you talk about being a killer, he could have primaried Joe Biden, and he probably would have been the Democratic nominee.
Yes, he could have ended Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's career. And, arguably, he could have won.
He might have had a shot.
Yeah.
He would have had a lot less baggage. They would have had a longer ramp for him to run on. And he's better at this. We could say whatever we want about how mismanaged California is. It's all true. But he's still good at making the sale somehow.
Yeah.
And that matters. So
God, I can't stand that guy.
Oh, he's just the worst.
So greasy.
Don't worry. We're all interviewing Steve
Slimy.
Hilton. Steve Hilton's doing 100 interviews right now. He's actually on the window washing plank. That guy's talking to him. He's like, so what I do over here is a foam base. He's everywhere. And we're excited about it. It's great. But Kennedy's here. And I don't discount that fact that if somebody put this together for the strategic purposes of Jeffrey Goldberg being there, because it's not just any reporter. It is a guy who absolutely loathes the whole idea of MAGA and of Trump. He famously in 2016 said Hillary was running against Vladimir Putin. It's official. He was the one that said Trump called the dead veterans suckers and lose that whole thing. So he has a case history of hit jobs on this administration.
Yeah.
And he would write the perfect hit job on the guy you want out.
But why? Okay, so, and my lovely domestic partner, our tour manager, brought this up. He was like, is the guy not American? Like, why would you publish the content? He's like, it's one thing to report about it.
Yeah.
But why publish the actual texts? Like and I was like, that's a good point, because everyone's trying to be Woodward and Bernstein. Like everyone wants a Pulitzer.
Well, also though, he has it because Hegseth said these are not war plans. So he wants to embarrass Hegseth. Again, Waltz built the chat, but the goal here seems to be to embarrass Hegseth. So if somebody in that camp built the chat...
If I had to choose between them, I would choose Waltz to be fired.
Yeah, that's what I think. He built the chat. How do you fire the other guy?
Yeah.
All he did was get on the chat.
He built the chat, and it was, because of him that Jeffrey Goldberg...
If you are the Secretary of Defense, you're never getting onto a call wondering if people actually secured the line, because you would assume you can't get invited in until they have.
Yes.
That's the same thing with being president. You're not going to go on a rally in Butler, PA unless they have at least 3-4 foot tall women standing there to pretend they're guarding you.
Unless Melissa McCarthy is.
The coast is clear. The cast of Bridesmaids is here.
Tampa Bay's place.
Get your politicians elected.
To talk about it.
Then people have a right to.
What happened to law and order?
News Talk 1040 WHBO.